A 25-year-old Japanese sugar mama has been sentenced to 9 years in prison for defrauding multiple men out of their money. In fact, she defrauded them out of more than $1 million and also helped other women do the same. This story is insane. And in fact, we had covered it initially, but now there are actual consequences for this woman. So bear with me as I do my best to pronounce names here. Mai Watanabe, also known as Itadaki Joshi Riri-chan, which translates as Sugar Baby Riri, was sentenced by the Nagoya District Court on Monday. According to the court's ruling, Watanabe defrauded 3 men in their 50s out of a total of around, 55.8 million yen, which sounds like a lot, but it translates to $1 million, which is still a lot. Between 2021 and 2023, she swindled one victim out of 117 million yen, about $756,000, by convincing him that she needed the money to pay off a debt. She used a similar story to defraud the other 2 men. Now, according to Japanese media outlets, Watanabe used most of that money to make payments at male strip clubs, okay?
Yeah,
it's referred to as male host clubs in Tokyo. They're strip clubs. Okay, that's what she's swindling other men so she can get that cold hard cash for the male strip clubs that she's going to. Bad. Don't do that. But man, the ball's on her. Like, it's kind of incredible. So she had allegedly fallen in love with one of the hosts and was, one of the employees at these establishments she likes to frequent, and was directing the money she made as a sugar baby to him in the hopes of making him the top earner at the club. She says, I thought it was fair game to commit fraud for the sake of the host, Watanabe said when questioned during the trial. But she also showed remorse, saying that she did something really bad. And I agree with that. She did do something really bad. Defrauding people is not funny. You're stealing from them, and you're doing so under this faux relationship that they think they've established with you. It's pretty gross. The judge presiding over the trial agreed, saying the crime is a very insidious one, utilizing sweet talking to make the victims from a dating app fall in love. John.
I mean, is that not what a relationship is at the end of the day?
True.
So yeah, I didn't see specifically what she did to defraud them. Like, she wasn't like hacking into their laptops or something, right? Like, they were giving her money. Right.
She would make up issues that she was having in her life and how she desperately needed money to deal with those issues. And she basically led these men on. Okay, led them on, made them think that,
is that a crime? No, I guess I don't like it, but I don't know. I mean, lots of people do that. What I think is interesting about that is,
do lots of people do that? Like that's awful. It's terrible.
I mean, like, I've heard dating apps are a terrible place to be on. That's why I don't date anymore. That and the marriage, those 2 things. Equally good reasons. So the interesting thing for me is she's getting all of these guys on dating apps to give her money. She's convincing them that there's something real there so that they will transfer their money to her. And then she's going to these host clubs and she's fallen so deeply in love with one of the male dancers that she's transferring tons of money to him. And I don't know what their relationship is, but it kind of seems ironic. It seems like the same thing is happening to her, that you'd think she would be more cognizant of that. But this guy, look, if he really loved her, then he wouldn't need all of the money. He would just go away with her or whatever. But instead, he's getting all this money. Perhaps he's leading her on in the same way she's leading them on.
I have to make a correction. So my instincts led me in a bad place, bad direction during this story. And I have been corrected by someone who is more educated on these male host clubs. They're not strip clubs. The men just sit and drink with the ladies and give them attention and make them feel pretty and stuff.
Which,
oh my God, girl, why are you wasting your money? Come on, you're a sugar baby. You're a sugar baby.
It's nice to feel appreciated,
You can totally like convince random men that you have no interest in to give you attention. Why do you have to pay someone to give you attention? That's crazy. Why are you defrauding men so you can pay another guy to give you attention. That's crazy. Like, look, I could understand it if she's like buying herself luxury items, she's traveling, jet setting, like that I can get. I don't condone it. In fact, I very much condemn it. But now I condemn it even more. I mean, it's wrong. I disagree with this.
Well, look, I would say that obviously matters of the heart are complex. I would say that if she is as good at manipulating people as possible, she's sort of a natural hunter when it comes to these things. It would be very easy to grow cynical about relationships and that it's too easy. She can manipulate people. She can wrap men around her finger. And now you have these guys working at the host club that are professionals. And they are good at manipulating people and they are harder to simply get. So maybe suddenly that seems like more of an actual challenge and she's being forced to actually work for it. If you are cynical about relationships, you might find that very appealing.
Male host is a bad dude. And he runs around with a bunch of bad boys, okay?
I wanna hear about this male host and I wanna find out who he's transferring to the money over. Everybody's just in love with someone who doesn't love them and it's very sad.
It is sad, yeah. By the way, she also trained other women to swindle other men, okay, defraud them. One woman, by the way, went on to swindle a man out of about 10 million yen, which is a little over $64,000. She was charged for that manual and for evading income tax by hiding around 40 million yen that she got from the scams. And in addition to her 9-year prison sentence, but by the way, let's address the 9-year prison sentence. Thoughts on whether the 9-year prison sentence is too lengthy or too short, considering the fraud schemes she engaged in, not only in defrauding 3 men in their 50s, but also training other women to defraud other men.
I wonder if she's getting money from the other women because it feels like she's defrauding them. I don't think you need to be
charging them for the manual.
That's what I'm saying. Why do you need to be trained in how to convince guys online to give you? It doesn't seem like that's the most complex thing in the world. But to me, it all comes down to what exactly you're doing to defraud them. If at the end of the day, the worst thing you did was lie to them about who you are and then ask them for money and they give you the money, then that's a scam. It's not, if she's like stealing credit card information, if she's hacking into accounts, if she's doing like wire fraud or mail fraud. I mean, those would be contextual things I would need to know if it's too much. It seems like a long time, 9 years for $64,000 or whatever. If it's for one of those women, it seems like a lot.
Yeah, the 9 years is for the root of the problem, which is the main, sugar baby. By the way,
Riri.
Sugar baby Riri-san. Yes, exactly. I should also note though, this should be a cautionary tale for everyone watching because these types of scams are quite common here in the United States. In fact, the Federal Trade Commission in the US received 64,003 reports of romance scams in 2023 alone, amounting to total losses of more than $1.1 billion. By the way, a lot of these creeps specifically target elderly people. And I want to find them and punish them myself. They're awful people who take advantage of the vulnerable among us, including those who are elderly, yes, but also people who are open-hearted and are looking for love, and that kind of betrayal really upsets me. So while we have like a lighthearted, way of handling this story, I don't want anyone to make the mistake of thinking I support anything that these people do. It's awful and I feel terrible for the victims.